Welcome back, guys, to another exciting episode of StewTube. It is March 26th, and I just wanted to make a quick video here this morning to show you a potential trade setup that I'm eyeing up here. In my last video yesterday, I had mentioned this rising wedge on the 4-hour chart here in these green lines, and that's generally a bearish pattern that'll break to the downside. We're going to have to wait and see how it plays out. But that's just kind of something that's on my radar right now. You can see I have a couple alerts set. If we cross this green line, I have an alert set. If we cross this yellow line, I have an alert set. I'm going to show you a couple things I'm looking at, starting with this red resistance box that I showed last video on the 1 hour. As soon as we had this red candle close right here, I assumed this was going to be a double top range, so I drew this resistance box, and we're still respecting it so far. If I zoom in even further onto the 15-minute chart, which I like to trade on quite often, we have this bit of a descending triangle here too, and I would not be too surprised if we would kind of see the price bounce around in here, coil up a little more, and break through both patterns. If that happens, there is potential for quite a large short. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed, but it's just kind of something I'm eyeing up for now. Another thing to consider, if we break below these patterns and just take a quick dip and then get right back up into that wedge, I would lose a lot of confidence in that play and I'd probably be looking to exit. But for now, with this, usually it's typically a bearish pattern, bearish triangle here, as well as the wedge being bearish. I'm seeing a lot of potential for a downside correction here since we have actually pumped quite a bit also. So we're going to have to see how it plays out here. But that's definitely something I wanted to bring to your guys' attention, because really if we do break down and even get a double bottom or something like that, I mean, you throw some leverage in there, and those are some pretty big moves. I mean, 10x leverage, you might be looking at a 300 or 400% profit, which would just be great. Another thing I want to point out here, if I go to the 1 hour, a lot of times what these wedges will do is actually have a bear flag, where you would measure the flag pole and take it from your breakout price, which we could be looking at a target of low $2,000, guys. I'm not going to say that that's probable. I'm just saying that the potential is there with that measured move. I'd be more leaning towards a smaller move, like retesting one of these white lines, if even that. Obviously, I always take profits along the way in chunks just so that I lock some in and I can adjust my stop loss, protect myself from risk and that sort of stuff. But even if, let's say, we break above this little triangle here and we're not ready to break out of this wedge, let's say we just test back up here, because you guys know I've been, as a mid to long term, I've been eyeing up this purple trend line, because I used to have a triangle drawn here and the measured move did bring us up to the purple line. So let's say we get back up here and then have our bear flag play out. If we wanted to play it safe rather than from our breakout point of the support we'd break through, let's say we want to take it from the top of our wedge instead. I mean, that measured move does line up perfectly with one of my, I believe that's actually a weekly trend line. So, I mean, just from a technical perspective, that move would make sense also. But we're going to have to see how this plays out, guys, over the next day, maybe even a few days for this to play out. And just kind of keep your head on straight and don't emotionally hang on to trades longer than you have to. If it's not going well, you might have to exit your trade. Don't be afraid to cut your losses. Don't be afraid to lock in profits, that sort of thing, guys. Play it safe. Don't get greedy. Stay safe out there and have a good rest of your day.